in the gym with Earl one time. That was at the old school gym in Colorado. This was when he was still an amateur on the verge of, was he pro yet? The verge of turning pro, just starting his pro career. And, you know, I like his work ethic. You know, I seen, you know, what he can do. And, you know, I just questioned, you know, the opponents he fought against. You know, I know against some of the tougher opponents, you know, he couldn't walk straight in and just stand there and punch with him. You know, everybody is not going to just allow him to punch on him. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys going to punch between his punches and whatnot. And, you know, he's already displayed that he can be hit, you know. And, you know, never know. You know, I look at a lot of things like that, the ability to take a punch, not just one, to take many punches. So when you get compared with one punch affect you, you know, not saying that how it affected him, but one punch affect you when you're with a high-skilled athlete, which he's going to hit you hard more than one time, then, you know, you have a chance to assess it, you know. Because if you actually see, you know, everybody that Errol fought against, he was bigger, you know what I'm saying? Not saying, you know, the skill set was there, but, you know, hey, what we say, skills make fights. So, you know, when you got guys that are highly skilled and who are champions and really undefeated, and, you know, talk about that heart of the lion, you know, there's not many people out there that, you know, that I've seen, man, that rather get choked out or rather get stomped out or rather get shot before they going to quit or stop, you know. And that's like Terrence is, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't think no one punch going to hurt Terrence. If it did, I know he's going to get up. You know, he works out tremendously hard, you know. And, you know, I've never had the chance to see Earl. I've seen clips on Earl, and I respect, you know, the coaches and his team and everything else, what they do. And, hey, it's going to be a tremendous fight. You know, like I said, I'm not Houdini. You know, I can't pick and say this here, say that, till I see these two, you know, actually pit their skills against one another, you know. Then, you know, works around second round, you know, you call me then, I can give assessment then. But once I see that, you know, I can't say, because I'm not going to discredit Earl in any way to say that that Terrence works harder than he does, or he does, because I've never seen it. So, you know, like I said, I'm not the kind of people that just speak to be speaking and saying things to be saying, or not to say something that I don't know that's really factual or don't have any knowledge of that. I don't do that. So, you know, like I said, I commend all the coaches in the world. Like I do say that some are more effective than others, and some fighters are more effective than others. So when they get into the ring, first two, 3 rounds, I think, you know, we all have a good assessment of which way the fight is going to go.
100%, 100%. You know, you've seen both of the styles. If you could paint a picture in your head as far as how do you see, you know, the beginning rounds and towards the middle and end, like how would you see it, and how would you go against it? Because I believe that I don't want to say that Terrence has a similar style than Shakur, but they have certain attributes that are like, and you can kind of figure out the style that Terrence
we've been
has.
in camp together, you know. Maybe.
Correct.
But,
Correct.
you know, like I said, you know, Terrence has a good team, and Earl have a good team, you know. It's going to be great to see the teams come together, you know, face each other, you know. Hey, I just can't wait. I just can't wait. I mean, all the talk has been done, you know. We know talk means nothing, because that's all about the hype. We just seen that with Devin and everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Devin's on something, but, you know, when you talk about you want to fight somebody, you're not going to make it a critical for them to make a decision, or unbearable decision that's despicable, that you know nobody would tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Not even a worst guy just for the money. You know, Shakur don't need money. You know what I mean? What he needs is them belts. That's all he wants. So anything sensible, you know, I'm going to tell you the God honest truth. I'm surprised that Shakur didn't say, oh, I want it, because he was going to beat him in anyway. You know what I'm saying? But he used to be like that. But Shakur has matured now. You understand? And so now what he's doing is making the best decisions for himself. You know what I'm saying? Not the stupid random decision like people say, yo, you should go ahead and take it just to take it to get the fight. Especially Floyd said, I know Floyd gonna be getting kickbacks on that fight. You know, that's why he would want to see it, you know. So, you know, it's all about the money. Don't let nobody tell you anything different, man. And, you know, when guys don't want to fight, do you think it's because they don't think they're going to have a win? Some of them don't think they have a chance to win. But, hey, some of them don't want to lose out on the money that they can make down the line. And that's the same thing with the managers that promote them.
Right. Yeah, 100%. If they're going to take that loss, they got to make sure that it's the most money possible to be willing to take that loss.
And like you see, then like, you know, I'll tell you, if the situation was reversed, you know, if Shakur had the titles, he'd have been glad. He wouldn't have cared. It's 50-50, whatever. Fuck. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Shakur just want to fight. And the reason he wants to fight, you know, to establish and continue his legacy in boxing.
But when we talk about this fight with Terrence and Spence, who do you believe opposes the best skill?
Well, you look. When you see Terrence, you got a two-edged sword there. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy who can fight you from both sides. You know what I'm saying? So this is a fight where positioning and ring generalship is going to mean a whole lot. And like in boxing, you know, buddy, we got a little saying that if the doors open, the flies come in. And, you know, a lot of doors that I seen with Terrence, you know, especially when we came around Big Bowman, you know, we spoke about the doors, keeping those shoulders closed instead of opening up and punching. And when you punching, especially to the body, you see the guy jokers open the shoulders up. You know, I still see a lot of that. And Earl, I seen it in Frank Martin, you know, many things. Just, you know, like a lot of coaches, I'm in my 60s. I ain't going to tell you how old I am. But a lot of stuff still coaches. This is why coaches always have to continue to keep learning. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those things, you know, common things that a lot of fighters that we see that we do, we try not to do those bad habits, those things like those windows and doors that open. We try to keep them closed. So, you know, a lot of those here things, you know, I think is going to be real important. Should we say the more detailed things, especially when you're inside. I know, you know, they're not going to be able to drop his hands, and, you know, I know Earl not going to be able to just continue to punch on Terrence without him punching in between, running little numbers or whatever, running up or just standing there. You know what I'm saying? I know that. So then it could come down to a war of nutrition. Which one is going to be in the best condition? Which one is going to be the strongest? Which is going to be the best hydrated? Okay, and which one is going to actually recover the most? And I think, you know, the sustainable training for this hip fight, because it's going to be a hard 12 rounds. You know, because Terrence rather kill before he lose. I mean, he just had that attitude, man. You know. Hey, I seen him wrestling. I seen him, I seen him do everything, man. And hey, you know, like I said, I haven't been around Earl. You know, a lot of things like driving fast and out bars and drinking and shit like that and all that kind of stuff. Terrence don't do. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's really disciplined in his craft. You know, so I think that'll have a lot to do with him. Which one is going to be the best prepared? And the best one that can have the best sustainability throughout the performance is going to win.
In an interview with Errol Spence, he also talked about Frank Martin in his last fight, saying that if he becomes victorious, which he did, he's looking for the number one or number two guy. And I forget what sanctioning body, but the main person that he was speaking upon was Shakur Stevenson. How do you see a fight with Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson?
You know, I'm gonna tell you, I like Frank Martin. You know, I like a lot of things he see watching Shakur try to emulate Shakur things, especially not this fight. He couldn't do it in this fight, but last fight. But you know, I think, you know, this is just my personal opinion. No reflection or anything against him. But I think, you know, what I saw in that fight was a lack of experience. when you have a guy, an international guy, come out just here and be able to handle you and right there. Well, and we heard it from his own mouth. He said that was a tough fight. That was a tough fight. And you know, any of the other guys, I think would have chopped that kid up, man. That's just my opinion. I mean,
Okay.
he got hit too much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And if you see, if the guy was able to
Yes.
sustain his performance throughout, you see, once the guy faded, he was able to get close to him. And once he stopped using his jab, you see how he got closer to him. You know, that jab was the real instrumental part of the fight. When he stopped using it in the mid 6, 7, 8 round, that allowed him to get closer to him. So little mental mistakes like that when you have a opponent like that and you see those, the only thing you could do is go back to the gym and get better. But the only thing you got to realize, man, when you talk about it, you got to be about it. You know, when you fight a fighter on that level and saying you want to fight fighters on the highest level, on the highest plateau, don't rush yourself. That's just a bit of advice. Like I said, I like the young man. I like his energy. I like his mindset. He has the mindset of a fighter, but you got to look at it. Everybody is stepping that ring has the mindset of a fighter. So just because you say things, don't mean it's so.